Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We're also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebartogo.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we talk about an article claiming North Carolina was once the hub of bourbon production in the U.S.
What?
My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, as well as our special guests, Kathy Cool, Jeff Andreezy, and Lou Catero.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Hey-oh, so yeah, we're going to be talking about North Carolina, and this article to me smells of AI, and so we'll see. We'll talk about it, and kind of crazy stuff, but we'll get to that after the break. For right now, I'm seething with rage and anger at Andrew Webrink, our all mutual friend here. He called me twice this week. One time he said he was working on eggnog, and then today he finally called me again. And he was working on Jason's eggnog. So what he had done is he was at the bar, and Jason said, hey, I got to make some eggnog. And Webrink said, I'll go back, and I'll just hang out with you while you're making it. And so we can talk. Well, what he did is he was acting like he was texting, but he was looking over Jason's shoulders. Because, again, Jason was trying to hide this stuff, but he's a small guy, and Webrink's taller, so he was just able to look over him, and he wrote down the recipe, and he stole Jason's eggnog recipe. And I'm just mortified that he would do that to a dear friend. Can you believe it? Can you believe he would do that? And the ultimate slap in the face was he called me, and I'm not going to give you guys the actual numbers here, but he called me and said, because there's 2 points where he had sugar in here, and he called me and said, hey, can you look at what you have? Because what I wrote down, because he was texting him, he was acting like he was texting, but he was texting himself with the notes as he's writing it down, and he's like, I have down that I have to add 19 grams at this point of sugar, and then another 19 grams. I'm like, 19 grams? That's like a sugar packet. That's nothing. I said, it's actually 190 at both of those. He left off a 0. So he even
I can't believe you gave it up.
I had to. I felt like I didn't want him to have his eggnog runt that he stole. So,
That'd be horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible on multiple fronts there, Steve.
Yes, it's unbelievable he would do that to a dear friend. Unbelievable. Just look over his shoulder.
Well, you're nicer than I would have been. I would have told him, no, you're right. It's only 89 grams of sugar.
I can't imagine Luke doing anything deceptive.
Well, it's Andrew, and he and I can do that to one another.
So yeah.
But why didn't he just ask up front for the recipe?
That's my question.
It's a secret.
I wouldn't have given it to him, and Jason doesn't give it to him. Again, Jason's trying to hide it.
Okay.
He's like hunched over around it, but So if you're shorter than him, like if he's hanging out with Kathy Cool, she's not getting this. She's not getting any of that. Beka could probably get it though. Beka and above can get the recipe because Jason's a smaller guy and just look over his shoulder.
I mean, here's some arguments here. If Jason didn't want his recipe stolen, and maybe maybe he shouldn't make it in the presence of a thief.
Right?
Everyone knows Andrew Webrink's a thief. He reeks of criminal. I mean, like if you don't want something stolen, then you don't do it in front of anybody.
This is true. I just was dying laughing as he called me. Number one, he screwed it up. Number two, he calls me and he does have the right numbers. I knew what he did. He left out that thing, and he called me and said, you know, I just did what you did. I looked over his shoulder. He's like, it was easy. He's like, he was trying to hide it. He's
Wait,
like,
so
easy.
you did this already?
I thought that was common knowledge.
You stole it already.
I invented stealing that eggnog recipe.
Oh my God.
No, he needed.
What? Who needs enemies when you got friends like this?
He needed a video shot for local news of him making his traditional eggnog, and he said, "Hey man, I could just use someone in here in the kitchen." So and he's like, "Secret recipe," and I'm like, "Are you going to share it with me?" He's like, "Hell no, I'm not going to share it with you. I just need you to be there." So because sometimes I'm working and they need someone to talk to on the camera, so I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense. I can fill a little time." But again, I just looked over his shoulder. I just surfed his shoulder and looked over there, got it, and I remembered mine. Unlike Webrink, who has to type it out and act like he's sending a text to someone. I just remembered it. And then as soon as that segment was over, I ran out to my car and wrote it down on paper.
Pair of thieves.
Oh, I won Best Eggnog in Missouri weeks later after that. That was back in 2019.
Like thieves.
Yeah. Best Eggnog in Missouri. Yeah. I knocked off Dustin Paris, who was in the finalist with me. I knocked him off, and he works for Luxco and was part of the Missouri. He started the whole thing. He was founding member. I knocked him off with that recipe.
This is terrible.
There really is no honor among thieves.
No.
Well, there must be a little because he told him the right amount.
I did.
That's kind of honorable.
I helped Webrink after I'm furious with him for doing that to Jason, but yeah.
This is exactly what's wrong with our world today. This is it right here. Is you think you've got trusted friends, some of your closest friends in the world, and what do they do? They steal.
I thought you were blaming him because he did this in front of other people. Now it's not his
No,
fault.
I'm saying that he's not without blame here.
Okay,
but
okay.
you would think you could trust your friends
Hey,
to not,
I wanted that
to not
recipe.
steal from you.
You think you'd share it with your friends?
It's his secret recipe.
No, he got it from someone else. So
Who did he get it from?
His grandmother.
no, it's not his grandmother. It was a friend of the family, and they went over to their house one Christmas Eve. They're like, come on over. We do a little get together, and they made their famous eggnog was part of it. And Jason and his dad loved it, and they were like, this is fantastic. Give us the recipe. He's like, no way. And then Jason, as he gets in the restaurant business, like, I'd like to make this for my business. The guy's like, no way. So Jason goes over there every year and even helps him get ready for the thing, helps him clean up and fix things and all kind of. He's doing all this stuff, and eventually, after like 7 or 8 years, the guy gives him the recipe. And I said, Jason, do you ever go back to that Christmas party? He's like, no, I never went back after that.
Yeah, but know what? He put his time in. He put his time in.
He quit going to the holiday party. You think he'd still go just at least one more year even. As soon as he got that recipe, he never went again.
Jeez. You know what? He put his time in. He put the work in. This is only funny to me specifically because of the fact that my mom and dad, when they moved to Minot, North Dakota, there was another airman who slept on their couch. I don't know, like whatever. So this guy lived with them, slept on the couch like for a long time. And one time my mom's looking through the newspaper on the military base and it says, like, I don't remember the guy's name. It's like Bill's famous cheesecake recipe. Bill's famous cheesecake. And it's this recipe that is my grandmother's.
No way.
He stole it from my mom.
The airman that was sleeping on the
The
couch
airman my parents had been, once again, no honor among thieves, stole it from my parents who were letting him live at their house. He stole it, put it into the newspaper, and claimed it was his. So my mom's been pissed at this guy for like probably 30 years at least. Now longer because I wasn't alive yet. But a few years ago, we went out to dinner as a family and we see this guy and his family out. And my mom walks up to him and she goes, "Oh, hey, so are you still making my grandmother's recipe for of cheesecake for your family?" And the daughter goes, "Your recipe? Dad said that was his famous recipe." My mom says to this little girl, she's like 10, she goes, "No, your dad stole that from me and I got it from my grandma." Or I don't know if it was my great grandma or my grandma. She's like, "That's where I got it." And the little girl started crying.
Oh, there you go.
Because she's like, "You make this all the time and you said how hard it was." And it's like the famous recipe in their family of cheesecake. And he just makes the best cheesecake. And he's been claiming it was his for years. And so fuck all you guys. Stealing stuff, taking the credit for it.
I won Best Eggnog in Missouri. I got a trophy. For it.
Well, what
Jason
kind
won
of
that trophy? Yeah.
What kind of lame ass house guest goes snooping through the recipe book?
Oh yeah. Well, there you go.
Well, my mom made cheesecake. And so he ate the cheesecake and was like, "Hell, I need that."
Yeah.
Pretty smart, if you ask me, if it's that good.
Yeah.
Must have been awesome.
But
Yeah.
in my group of guys, if somebody does something like that, we give credit to wherever it began.
Sure.
Like if you made a really good green chili something, I did it, but this is my mom's recipe, or I learned it from Jason Bronner or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, we give the credit.
Exactly.
That's key.
As you should.
That's key.
As the airman should have given your mom the credit.
Yeah.
Exactly. Instead, my mom made his daughter cry years later.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's what makes what we bring to just so disgusting. Just a terrible, terrible act.
I still would have had fun with him and tell him to.
Of course, it's tell him next time you see him. He's cracking up about it. So yeah, it was funny for sure. On that note, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Luke. What do you got there, Luke?
I've got one of Bardstown Bourbon Company's original series, the wheated version.
Okay, wheated version. All right.
Steve Nolly.
Okay, solid. Could be enough. We'll see how it goes. Kathy's next.
Okay, I'm gonna drink this whiskey from North Carolina called Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey by Hidden Barn. Ooh, that's on there. What the hell? Okay.
Okay, Basie.
All that work.
Yeah, not enough. Luke has the lead. Becca's next.
I don't think I'm even gonna try to beat him. This is a well-loved bottle here. But it's Maker's Mark, the wood finishing series. It is RC6 in honor of Andrew Webrink.
All right, yeah, there you go. Perfect. Okay. Basie, like Kathy's, you beat Kathy, but you didn't take over Luke. He's still got the lead. Jeff, you're next.
I have some MB Roland. I have the Mystery Machine.
Oh, nice. We're getting Orion from them. Wait till you try that. That was
Orion?
my favorite MB Roland ever. So yeah, we got Orion. It's on the way.
I'll look for it.
Yeah. Oh, that solid. That's probably going to be enough. I can't imagine it not one. We'll see. I've got Leopold 8. This is the 8-year bourbon finished in a 3-chamber rye barrel. Let's see what we got. Basie. I'm hanging out with the Basie crew there. Not enough to win or anything like that. Jeff, you clearly won that, so cheers to you.
Cheers, Jeff.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about North Carolina, the bourbon capital of the world. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of Executive Bourbon Steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your Executive Bourbon Steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your Executive Bourbon Steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show.
This is Kathy Cole. You're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about the bourbon capital of the world,
Yes.
North Carolina.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Kathy, what does this article claim? What are they saying? Why would North Carolina say they can stake a claim as being the bourbon capital of the world? At one point. They admit they're not there now, but at one point they claim they were the epicenter of bourbon. What do they got?
It's almost as if I were to say, I would have been the Queen of England. Mm-hmm. But there are so many things that didn't happen in the right order or right way that I'm not the Queen of England. So, nothing in this. I really do think it's AI. They started their prohibition well before anybody else. When they had when they had the plethora of 400 distilleries.
Yes.
And
at the same time, Kentucky has 2,000, by the way.
Right. North Carolina had limestone deposits and access to limestone water.
Clearly, that means they're
Right.
There's a lot of places that have limestone. I mean, even Missouri, all the way across. It's not uncommon.
This is one of the funniest sentences in here. The state also had an edge in terms of climate because even though Kentucky has the perfect weather conditions for distillation, the seasons in North Carolina are believed to be more consistent for aging bourbon.
You don't want consistent.
Why did they
just
want
say
up and down? Perfect, but now it's not?
Perfect for distillation. What the heck does that mean?
I don't know. I know.
I know. Weather conditions for distillation.
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
Not aging, for the distillation.
Yeah.
We know that
50.9%
of the flavor comes from the barrel, so.
Yeah.
Well, also, why does it say the state had the right ingredients to brew up some good smoky bourbon?
I don't, what the hell does that mean?
What do you mean smoky bourbon? Is this Scotch?
Yeah,
right.
That's what I thought.
This, and again, I don't think it's a real person. I think this is, or if it's a real person, they're using AI, I would guess. I mean, the stuff that they're saying here.
I actually tried to look up the author's name, came up with nothing.
Yeah. So this sounds like, we're just using AI. And I think I know where it even comes from. The guy from North Carolina that's trying to do the space whiskey, he claims that North Carolina at one point was the epicenter of bourbon. So I think AI draws from that that ends up being published articles, and then AI draws from that and was like, oh well, yeah, of course. Here's North Carolina is the epicenter of bourbon. I think that's where that happens from. That's how that kind of stuff can go off the rails.
Well,
with AI.
first of all, I agree. This author and the whole article is just
It's terrible.
way off base. But second, I went and did a little just recent research because it kind of piqued my interest. There's only 80 distilleries currently now.
Yeah.
So if that's not a whole lot if you really think about it.
Especially when you have a climate perfect for distilling.
Yeah. Well, there's one that's a really, really good one, and it's called Black Hawk Distilling in Southern Pines. They're a really good one. And Steve, you guys on the Bourbon Show may want to talk to them one of these days, just because they're veteran owned.
Sure.
They first bought
It's not to say that there's no good distilleries there, but I just this whole claim of them being the center of the world is ridiculous on every account. No matter what time you want to go, before Prohibition, after Prohibition, whatever you want to do, there's not ever a time when North Carolina was the leader in bourbon.
Do we really think that Maker's Mark is the world's oldest operating bourbon distillery?
No.
I didn't think so. 1953, right?
Right. There was distillation that was
just
happening
after
on that
Prohibition
property, but
Yeah.
3 years.
There were just so many wrong elements of that story that did not make sense.
Well, factual wrongness. But then I went back and read it again. My takeaway was, if North Carolina had made more, and if it happened to be great, and if Kentucky hadn't grown like it has.
Right.
So you had to have a lot of things that lined up that North Carolina maybe could have, would have, should have been.
Right.
It's like, holy cow, that's a non-article.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All it is a headline to try to get you to click on there, and
Well, they got us, didn't they?
Well, no, maybe they get one person talking about it to rip on them. I don't think that's good for business. Yeah. The whole thing is just ridiculous, but this is what we're seeing these days. Lack of actual people who can make any money. And again, we just had some writers in here, Press Junket in Missouri. Two of the best known bourbon writers were here. And of course, they're complaining about what they're making. They're making less than half of what they were making even last year. And the trend is it's going to only get worse because publications aren't paying anything because they can do AI to write articles and stuff like that. So they're paying real authors less. But this is what's going to happen to us is stuff like this. We're going to get this kind of stuff, and then people read it, and we are all in bourbon. We do this stuff all the time. This is our hobby. It's our passion. It's what we like to do. It's like what we like to talk about. We know this is BS, but the person just off the street, do they know that this is BS, or are they like, shit? North Carolina was the place, man. We should be the bourbon capital of the world, So.
If only every single thing hadn't worked against them.
Yes. Yeah. So the whole thing's ridiculous, and
it's funny that you brought up at the beginning in your small talk lies. And now our article is about lies.
Yeah.
It's like a whole world full of lies around Steve Akeley.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this isn't lies as much as it's just gross incompetency, I think. So that's, I don't think anybody's trying to intentionally do something wrong here. Just don't know what they're talking about. So there you go. That's the show. I'm dying right now, but I'll finish off the show, I guess. So there you go. All right, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Jeff, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and the Cigar Dojo, Jeff Andreezy, 2 I's and 2 Z's.
All right, Kathy.
You can find me on Instagram at KKCaststrength.
Jeff kind of stole his ending plug there from Beka, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So he took her style, is what he did. I mean, not the exact same thing because their names aren't the same, but he took her style. He stole her style. Yeah.
Imitation is the greatest form of flattery, Steve.
Oh, okay.
Sincere. Totally sincere.
All right.
And
Luke,
I
how about
noticed
you?
a couple episodes
Go
ago
ahead.
she didn't say it. She didn't.
Uh-huh.
I thought, oh no, do I have to ditch mine too? But she's back.
She's back. Okay. Yeah, she might have been in a hurry that night. We'll see. I don't know what happened. All right, Luke, how about you? Where can people find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn and on Instagram, Santa Fe Boutique Wines.
Miss Beka Sue.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. That's the one you want to check out. Everything that we do is out there, no matter what it's about. If we've done it, we've documented it on abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us, the ABV Barrel Shop. We got a lot going on. So many great bottles in and things like that with more on the way. So check us out online. See what's happening at abvbarrelshop.com. Miss Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you're in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.